Look, I got a new toy for you. I found this at Michael's when I was shopping for craft supplies. And I was just in the checkout line and there were like a bunch of like little things and I was like, 99 cents. I bet Tiki will love that. Look, she's so interested. Here, you want to go see it? Check it out. Go ahead. I have her whole toy basket back here today, so we'll see. We'll see if she's interested in that. Okay, hey guys, I'm Michelle, and this back here is Tiki, and you probably are watching this because you follow us on TikTok. We are Flock Party. I'm really trying to make content on YouTube. It's a lot harder than it is to make content on TikTok, so I'm working on it. I'm sure you've seen the title, but one of my most commonly asked questions is how did I teach Tiki how to talk? And it's like a super long answer. The short answer is I didn't, but like there's a lot more layers to that. I get a lot of comments from people or messages saying, I have the same type of bird, but mine doesn't talk like yours. Like, what am I doing wrong? How did you teach yours to talk? So this is kind of addressing that. So I broke this up into 3 sections. Part 1 is why birds talk in the first place. Part 2, why yours might not talk. And 3, things that I did and still do to this day that I think have helped my bird to be so talkative. But if you take one thing away from this video, please let it be this. Not all birds learn to talk. Never get a bird because you want a pet that can talk. This will lead to disappointment and often leads to situations where birds must be rehomed because people weren't ready for the commitment of actually having a bird because they were too busy being excited about their talking abilities. So just to be totally realistic with you, if your bird doesn't talk, like it's okay. They might never learn to talk. And if you're disappointed by that answer, don't watch the rest of this video. Okay, part 1. Why birds talk in the first place. I think it's important to understand why birds have mimicking abilities and what function it plays in their life when we're discussing why your bird won't talk, or even preparing someone to possibly increase their bird's potential to talk. So it's not going to be like super intense. It's not that deep. Don't worry. Like, I'm not a scientist. I don't know that stuff. But what you need to know is simply this. Birds have mimicking abilities so that they can communicate with their flock. It's for safety, so they can warn one another about potential danger. It's to call each other if someone's lost and they can't find their way back. They do it to form a sense of belonging, so they know like, hey, we're part of the same family. And they also use calls and singing to attract mates. So it's multi-purpose, but at the end of the day, it's basically communication. So the same is true in captivity. The difference is instead of having a flock to learn like the chattering and the calls and the squawking from, they have humans that they can learn words and phrases from. However, for this to happen, your bird must feel that you are both part of the same flock. If you think about why parrots mimic in the first place, that totally makes sense. Why would your bird want to communicate with you if they aren't completely comfortable with you? Why would they want to discuss potential danger or call to you in the next room if they don't feel safe with you? Or why would they want to form a sense of belonging with you if they don't view themselves as a part of your flock? It just doesn't make sense for them to pick up on the words that you frequently use if they don't feel like they're a part of your family. And again, I'll say it so many times, not all birds learn to talk. So you could have all of that bond, that connection with your bird, and they still might not talk. It goes back to the fact that birds are just incredibly complex creatures, and every single bird is their own unique individual. So here's why your bird might not talk. As we just said, never get a bird because you want a pet that can talk. That being said, it is a really cool thing about parrots, so it's understandable to be enamored by it and interested in it. So if you still got a bird, understanding that they may never talk, say you did tons of research, you knew that there was always that potential that they might never talk, and you knew that you would still love that pet anyways, you love them for other reasons besides their talking abilities, I think it's a totally reasonable thing after that point to want to do everything in your power to try and increase that potential for talking. It really is just a cool thing, and being able to actually communicate with your pet in your own language is fascinating, sometimes hilarious, sometimes super sweet, and just makes you feel like full of love. And it's also occasionally infuriating if you have a bird that picks up on like your annoyed tone and starts to talk back to you. Ultimately, any of the things that I'm going to recommend in my own experience, that you can do to encourage a bird to talk are only going to be like beneficial things. They're nothing that you do to build a bond with your bird is going to be like detrimental in the long run. As long as you understand that talking still may never happen, you can still be doing these things and it's still helping you create a better bond with your bird. So here are some reasons why your bird might not talk. They're not entirely comfortable around you. Like I said, if they don't feel like they're a part of your flock, then they're not going to talk. They've experienced trauma in the past and don't feel safe with you. This is true, like if you get an older bird who has been like abused and neglected and never has been handled, a lot of times those birds just have a hard time bonding with in future relationships. They're shy. That's like a personality trait of birds. A lot of birds are shy. Some are shy around even the people that they're close with, and some are just shy around strangers. It just really depends on the bird and their own personality. Some birds are closet talkers, meaning that they do talk. They talk a lot, but they will only do it behind closed doors. And Tiki's kind of like this. Like, she talks in front of me, but like as soon as I pull out the camera, she doesn't say a word unless it accidentally slips out. You don't talk to them enough. Again, if you're not giving your bird any material to work with, like they're not going to learn how to talk. You have to talk to them for them to learn words. They're not just going to spontaneously start talking. Another reason could be that you don't repeat enough of the same things. If a bird's going to learn a word or a phrase after one time of hearing it, either they're a super intelligent species of parrot or it's something that happened that is just super exciting and intense and really grasped the attention of your bird. Most of the time, the things that they're going to learn are going to be like those little words and phrases that you use all the time and that you repeat on a daily basis. Another thing could be that you're not exciting enough. And I'm not like saying anything about you as a person, that you don't live a very exciting life, but that you don't like make your voice exciting enough. They're going to want to repeat the things that are exciting and that sound good to them. Another possibility is that your bird is talking. They're just not that clear and you haven't been able to identify what they're saying yet. Try to pay attention when you hear your bird just like chattering to themselves. You're so cute, Tiki. And the last thing I have on my list is that maybe your bird isn't talking because they just don't want to. Your bird is not alive on this planet to please you. Birds are self-serving creatures and don't do things just to make you happy. Like, something always has to be in it for them. They don't care about your happiness, but it needs to be like a mutual relationship. One or more of these may be true as for why your bird doesn't talk, but it may be none of these at all. Like I said, your bird just might not want to. And that's fine. And you need to be okay with that. Part 3, why I believe my bird is so talkative. And this is going to be a list of things that I think have helped with that. Number 1, my bird is a Quaker parrot. And this is nothing that I did, but just the fact that Quaker parrots are known for having a higher capacity for mimicking and talking. I've also read that green Quakers specifically are more likely to talk than some of the other color variations. I'm not sure how true that is, but it's just something that I've read. So right away, our potential is greatly increased just because of Tiki's species. Next, I brought Tiki home as a young hand-raised bird, meaning that she grew up around humans and had heard talking and had been exposed to just having hands like in her face since the moment she was born. And I believe this was helpful because she's kind of already attuned to humans being a part of her day-to-day life. rather than only seeing them from afar and being raised by a bird. Now, this is more of the things that I did personally that I think helped a lot. Right from the beginning, when I brought her home, I treated Tiki like a member of the family or flock. Oh, my poor baby, what happened? I would bring her to the dinner table and she'd eat dinner with us, eat something off my plate, even though my parents and my sister hated it. She showered with me, as you all know. I really think that eating and bathing were some of the activities that really helped us bond the most, just because bathing and eating are things that birds do in flocks naturally. But other things too, like just letting her sit on the back of the couch, and when she got more comfortable on my chest or on my shoulder, while my family watched TV. Just kind of those things that a lot of families do together. Tiki was always there for it. Oh, hello. Next, I never stop talking to Tiki. I narrate my day. I'll ask her opinion, should I wear this shirt or that shirt? Just talk about my day, talk about the weather, talk about the budgies with her. We have a lot of good discussions. And I really think that a lot of people don't do that, and maybe you don't even realize you're not doing it. Maybe you think it's stupid because you think your bird just doesn't understand or doesn't care about those things, but they like to hear you talk. And if you think about birds outside, they're always calling to each other and chattering with each other. She may not know and understand exactly what I'm saying, but she knows that I'm communicating with her, and that's important. So I think that's helped us bond a lot, and she's picked up on some of my commonly used phrases from doing that. The other thing about the way I talk to her is that I use a high-pitched baby voice. I know that some people don't like doing because it makes them sound stupid, but I promise birds just love stupidity. They just, right, Tiki? So the way that you would talk to a baby or a young child is how you should be talking to your bird. Their attention is more grabbed by funny sounding high-pitched voices, long drawn-out sounds, and changes in the intonation of your voice. I'll try to give you an example. See, I can't just do this voice on command. I actually have to be talking to Tiki, right to her face. Hi! Are you a good bird? You're such a good bird. Yes! She bent her head down so I could give her scritches. Yeah. I talk to her like that all day long. Next, I use a lot of the same words and phrases when speaking to Tiki, and I use them at predictable times. A great example was actually completely unintentional. The command "step up." These were the first words that Tiki learned because it's something I'd say frequently, and she could kind of see it coming. Another more recent example is actually saying "uh-oh." I started a few months ago. I would just say "uh-oh" whenever she'd drop something or lose her balance or whatever. Eventually, whenever she would start to drop something or kind of lose her balance and get startled, she would say "uh-oh." It's actually really funny and really cute. When she drops something, she'll look off the edge of wherever she dropped it from and say "uh-oh" to it. But it's also really nice because before, if she would get startled by something, she would scream and get really upset about it. But now she just says "uh-oh" in her sweet little voice, and I just love it. It's just so much better for my ears. It's also important to remember that situations like this are times of high excitement. This is why a lot of birds learn things that you don't want them to learn, swear words, because they're often said with a lot of emotion or paired with something else super exciting. Think of, say, if you drop something on your foot and you yell out a swear word because it hurts. You've grabbed your attention by making a loud noise by dropping something, and then the pain in your voice, that emotion also grabs their attention. Always be cautious with the words you use around your bird, because if they're a talker, chances are they'll pick up on some things that you don't want them to just be saying all the time. My last point, I always answer my bird. Even before she talked and spoke actual recognizable words, if she made little noises or was just chattering, I would always try and guess what she was communicating to me and respond, just so she could get the gist of having an actual conversation and having that back and forth. Like even now, sometimes she'll just chatter and it'll sound like gibberish, and I'll just sit there and be like, yeah, no way. Kind of like we're having a conversation. Like I pretend like she's telling me a story, and she loves it. It hypes her up. She loves it so much. I also always respond to the words that she uses most frequently. I'll sing Bacon Pancakes or Baby by Justin Bieber, like whatever she's feeling at that moment, I'll sing it with her and I will hype her up, and she loves it so much. Like one way that she likes to communicate with me is by saying beep back and forth, so I'll always do that for as long as she wants to. Another thing she does is that she'll ask to come out when she's in her cage. She'll say, "Want to come out?" But sometimes she needs to be in her cage. Her cage is a safe space. If I'm cooking or cleaning or something where it's dangerous if she accidentally gets in the way. In those situations, I'll like literally explain to her why she can't come out. Just always respond. Responding to everything they're saying is actually rewarding them for using their words. Why would a bird continue to use words and phrases if nobody's responding back to them? If you've gotten to this point, you have the talking bird, you're probably doing this already, because like, I don't think you can get to that point without doing this kind of stuff in the first place. So, good for you. All right, guys, that is all I have for today. I'm gonna go edit this and post it so that you guys aren't bored of me. Leave me a comment if you have a bird that talks, and let me know if there's anything that you would have added to everything I had to say. I know a lot of you have been inspired to get birds because of me, so if that's the case, leave me a comment of what you feel like you need to know that I haven't mentioned already, and I will try to put that into a video. If you thought this was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. I really do want to start posting more, so I'm going to do that. Also, I think that merch may be in our very near future. Like, I'm excited about this. So make sure you follow me like elsewhere on Instagram. And if you're not from TikTok, please go follow me on TikTok. I post so much there, at least once a day. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Do all those things I mentioned before, and have a really great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.